All right, so as I concluded my show with Brendan Griffin last night, I told everybody that I would be back on the audio side of the podcast to discuss my 2018 divisional outlooks, my 2018 divisional previews. And I would start that segment by talking about the first division that is on everyone's mind that listens to this show, the AFC East, a division that consists of the New England Patriots, the New York Jets, the Miami Dolphins, and last but surely not least, the Buffalo Bills, the team that everybody knows that I cover practically daily on this podcast in one form or another, whether it's on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast Facebook page, whether it's on the Thomas Take Twitter at Thomas Takeover, or on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast YouTube channel. I wouldn't say that this is solely a Bills podcast. I cover the NFL as a whole, but due to the fact that I live in Buffalo and I'm a Buffalo Bills fan and I write about the team as a lead Buffalo Bills writer on myfantasysportstalk.com, that's usually somewhat of the focus. So I figured I'd give the people what they want when they want it. They want it now. I'm giving it to them now. So the AFC East is a very interesting division. Currently, as it stands, New England has been in the Super Bowl often. That is no secret. They have probably the best coach of all time and probably the best quarterback of all time. That's debatable. It's argued. It's always going to be a debate. The greatest of all time in any facet of the game, whether it's coaches or quarterbacks. But in this generation, I think it's safe to say within the last 20 years, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick have been the two guys that have been ruling the roost in the NFL on both ends of the spectrum, coaching and obviously on the field as the quarterback for Tom Brady. I don't expect that to change anytime soon as long as those two guys are active and as members of the NFL. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I will say, though, that I do believe New England is at their most vulnerable point right now in comparison to previous years. They have lost some pieces. They've kind of traded players away, and it's kind of made people scratch their head. But there is always a method to their madness, and Bill Belichick is always the mad scientist. With that, I do see New England winning the AFC East, and I see them as the heavy favorites to do so. Which begs the question, who will be second in this division? And two teams, I think, out of the three have a very good case. I think the New York Jets have a very good case, and I think the Buffalo Bills have a very good case. The main question with both teams is who the hell is going to be the quarterback? Both teams have invested in quarterbacks, with Sam Darnold being the 3rd overall pick and Josh Allen being the 7th overall pick. Both teams have invested heavily in the quarterback position. The Jets bring in Teddy Bridgewater. Buffalo brings in A.J. McCarron. And obviously Josh McCown and Nate Peterman remain on both teams from last season. So there's a lot to kind of be discovered there. But nonetheless, outside of the quarterback position, the Jets have a very strong front seven. Buffalo has a very strong secondary, and Buffalo has added to their linebacking core with Trey Edmonds and their defensive line with Harrison Phillips. So both teams are kind of built the same way. Some offensive weapons, but mostly their talent really lies in their defense. And one would definitely say that the Jets and the Bills have kind of propped themselves up already, kind of kickstarted their rebuild, their retooling, so to speak. That these two teams, as far as the future of the division goes, I see the Bills and the Jets being two teams that will be battling it out for many years to come. Miami Dolphins, I think, are a little bit questionable. They let go of Jarvis Landry. They didn't let him go. They traded him. They traded him to Cleveland for a 4th and a 7th round pick. That I did not understand why they couldn't come to a deal with Jarvis Landry. He's traded to Cleveland. Cleveland is not, NFL royalty by any stretch of the imagination at that point or now. They're not NFL royalty. They're kind of retooling. They've reshaped their team a little bit, but there's still a long way to go for those guys. And Cleveland's able to re-sign Jarvis Landry right out of the gate to the fact that they have this abundance of cap space that they're able to throw at Jarvis Landry. They're able to re-sign him right away. They're able to get him on their organization for many years to come. He's looking at houses. He's buying a house on Hard Knocks. He's making Cleveland his home. Why couldn't Miami make Miami their home for Jarvis Landry and his wife and family? Very odd. That struck me as odd that they were willing to let this guy go who catches anything that's thrown to him. No matter who throws him the ball, he's catching it. Fantastic route runner. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league currently. And I think that's a massive loss for Miami. I know they have Devontae Parker. I know they added Danny Amendola, but it's not Jarvis Landry. I think Jarvis Landry is one of the most underrated players, receivers, whatever you want to call it, in this league. And I think that loss is going to hurt Miami. Another question that Miami has is obviously the health and durability of Ryan Tannehill, who they seem to love and they seem sold on. I remember during the draft process, had Buffalo not traded up from 12 to 7, maybe Miami would have been able to get a quarterback like Josh Allen. Had Arizona not traded up from, 15 to 10, maybe Miami might have took a quarterback like Josh Rosen. Then we would have had a three-headed divisional monster in terms of rookie quarterbacks battling it out between Darnold, Allen, and Rosen, or Darnold, Rosen, and Allen, depending on what Miami would have done there. That was an interesting storyline. And there was a lot of rumors that the three most heavily interested teams in Baker Mayfield were Cleveland, the Jets, and Miami. So I don't really know how sold Miami is on Ryan Tannehill. So I don't think Miami will win many games this year. I don't know, to put an exact number on it, maybe 5 to 7 at most. But I don't see them doing that well. I see them finishing last in the division. So we'll start out right there. See Miami finishing last. I see the Jets finishing third due to the fact they don't really have much of a running game. And I think no matter what quarterback they put in that spot, whether it's McCown, Bridgewater, or Darnold, they need a running game. And I don't know if they have one. For that and a few other reasons, I think they will start Sam Darnold at some point in the season, and I don't know if that's the right move. I know he had an impressive preseason debut, but I'm a little bit up in the air about starting any of the rookies right out of the gate, whether it's Rosen, Allen, or Darnold. I think that they might need to sit and learn, and even Mayfield as well, obviously, needs to sit and learn a little while. Maybe mid-season they bring these guys in, but I think Darnold has the best shot at starting week 1 because the Jets just want to throw him out there. They want to see him play, and they think he's ready. It appears as if he's more of a favorite to be their starter week 1 than what was originally thought. What was originally reported. And for that, I think that there's going to be some growing pains. They might lose some games early in the season. They might finish the season with a record of 7-9. My best bet is that Miami finishes the season 5-11. The Jets finish the season 7-9. Buffalo, very interestingly enough, has, some would say, a brutal schedule. I mean, the first 7 games, 5 of the first 7 games are on the road. So does that impact their decision in starting Josh Allen right out of the gate? I think it does. And I think whether it's McCarron or Peterman, there'll be some decent games between both of them. They showed decent things in the preseason. I think Peterman is more ready than what people realize. I think he's heavily improved. Furthermore, I think the skill set that he had last year, he still has. We couldn't judge a book by its cover too soon. Alluding to his past performance versus the Chargers, he's moved on from that. It appears as if he's much better now than he's ever been. So I think Buffalo can go 9-7 again. Whether they make the playoffs or not is another story. That depends on how the rest of the AFC shakes out. But I think Buffalo could go 9-7 again. I can make an argument that Buffalo is a better team than what they were last year. People say, oh, they lost Incognito. Thankfully, they did, because that guy lost his mind. You could say they lost Eric Wood because it was a premature, career-ending injury. He was part of the team for 9 years. He's a center, important position, to say the least. Russell Bodine, I don't know about him, but I think the Bills have gotten better on defense, and last year Buffalo's defense was what was winning them games early in the season, what helped them beat Denver, what helped them beat Atlanta was their defense. There was a 3-game window there where they played the Saints, Chargers, and another team that I can't think of right now, where Buffalo's defense was getting ripped apart, especially on the run. Enter Harrison Phillips, enter Trey Edmonds, enter Trent Murphy. Buffalo has added to their defense and made their defense stronger. So for that, I think they'll do just as well, and I think their passing attack, whether it's McCarron, Peterman, or Allen, will be better than what it was with Tyrod Taylor. So for that, I have Buffalo going 9-7. I have the New England Patriots going 11-5. I think this division will be a little bit closer than what people think. Patriots going 11-5, not getting the home field. Not getting the home field advantage with one of the best records in the AFC. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. But I think Patriots go 11-5. The Bills go 9-7. I'm thinking best case scenario for every team. This is the optimal record that every team could have. Patriots go 11-5. Bills go 9-7. Jets go 7-9, maybe 6-10, and Miami goes 5-11, maybe 4-12. That's the way I see the AFC panning out. This is a division that has high intrigue for many reasons, not just locally, whether you're from Buffalo or not, but just in terms of the NFL. You have these young quarterbacks, Allen and Darnold. What's going to end up happening with both of them? They were the second and third quarterback selected in the 2018 NFL draft. Darnold 3rd overall, Allen 7th overall. It's a lot of fun, neat storylines inside of this division. When is the ceiling going to cave in on LaShawn McCoy's career? Is it this year? Is it next year? When will Tom Brady and Bill Belichick hang him up? Will Miami rebuild sooner than what people think, or will it take a long time? Only time will tell. But I'm Ryan Thomas. That was my AFC 2018 Outlook. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, everybody.